Yeah, I don't have an entire Games Workshop France website page open with like 600 euros worth of terrain in it.
This is a good website, by the way, for all the breakdown.
Oh yeah. Tabletop Battles are really good with their stuff. I've watched all of Wellywood's stuff
same.
as well. So
I've tried to, but as I said in the chat, my brain is turned off.
Yeah.
One thing we can bring up is the distinct lack of terrain available nowadays.
Yeah.
They have desperately cut that back. And that is a
I
big
haven't actually
shame.
looked at the Warhammer website.
There are so on the Necromunda Warhammer page, there are 30 things available, and most of them are overpriced, like small little things, rather than actual table building things. So it's really fucking minimal now.
Oh shit! Well,
it's depressingly minimal.
I don't know personally, because I don't buy a lot of terrain because my local gaming group has buckets of it, and I don't have anywhere to store it. I've got one set of Necromunda 3D printed terrain that I can just pull out whenever I need it. It's got a couple of levels and stuff like that. And then I made a chapel so that if I want to do any Age of Sigmar stuff, I can play around this chapel. But
I think we can talk about that in the episode because I think there's a lot to say about that because there's many different viewpoints.
Yeah.
But
right. And
otherwise, welcome Hamilton. We just talk shit for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll try and make it
similar podcasts.
We'll try and make it rapid enough as well so that we can keep stuff when the edition actually lands on Saturday. Hopefully.
I hope I get mine on fucking Saturday. I don't think I will. But...
Yeah, I mean,
I won't be able to pick mine up until Monday because it comes to a Tuesday even because it comes to my local at work gaming store.
I just don't trust international post, and for the way that Europe is just fucked everything with its new laws.
My fun is my car's in for a service on Friday, and I know the tyres are going to be replaced because they're due. So that's at least 500 quid.
Oh,
yeah. Per tyre?
No.
Okay, you're doing well then. Last time I think I did that was
I don't think. And then also, it happened on the way. Once I got to PeachCon, I was like, "What the fuck is that scraping sound?" It sounds like, and I was like, "Well, I've heard this sound before," but I checked it, and it's not the dust guard to the wheel strut. It's the dust guard to the brakes. So it's this little bit of metal, but the bolts where it fits to on the bolts, it just over time corrodes. And I think just driving down to PeachCon was just enough for it to go fuck this.
Either that, or one of the things that I used to notice a lot was a small stone gets caught in those kind of things.
Yeah, no, it's not that because I actually put my finger in and the whole plate moved around. I was like, well, it's like a 15 quid piece of metal, but they're going to
charge you 300 quid for it, yeah.
Most probably not, because it's quite... Apparently, I've seen how to do it, but I'm not doing it myself. You just take the wheel off, you take the calipers off, and then you can...
Yeah, no, that's a 300 quid charge at a fucking thing.
It shouldn't be. I mean, this is part of my service. They're going to have to take the fucking wheels off anyway. Put new tyres on, so fuck them. Anyway, welcome to Realm of Fire. We're going to talk about Necromunda. I'm Chris. I'm joined by David and Hamilton. We're not going to talk about my car woes or other woes in the world. PeachCon was really good fun, I'll just say, because I ran a shit ton of Necromunda Warmachine demos.
Damn you, I was going to say, if you've run Necromunda, you're well ahead of us.
So that went really well and did a lot of paint and takes. So I've got more demos I'm running at Element Games Sheffield in a week on Friday. So that's Friday, a week on Saturday, Saturday the 22nd. But obviously, the hot topic is Trench Crusade. No, it's Necromunda. Because Trench Crusade is also arriving at the end of the month as well, for God's sake. Yeah, I've got that arriving.
Fingers crossed we get that before the end of the month as we pre-ordered.
I
have one thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, Hamilton. We've not had you on this before. Hi.
Yes, we have.
Have we? Shit.
Yeah, I've been on with Chris, yeah.
I blame the fucking heat. Ignore me. I'm going to go back to my drawing.
To be fair, Dave, you weren't there, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm never, even though I'm here now, I'm still never here.
I see. Yes.
This is all just a figment of imagination.
so.
So obviously, the joy of the internet means that spoilers move at light speed these
Potato
days.
cam.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I think we've had more leaks and spoilers of Necromunda than anything from Games Workshop in the last 12 months.
100%. Yeah.
I wouldn't say even 12 months. I would say like ever.
I bet that's because a lot is my hot take on this is I think a lot more there's a few like content creators out there and people who probably are like who love Necromunda so much, and I think the community is a bit different where it's just like, oh, we're just sharing it with our friends, it's just with our friends here, because we're the little group on the outskirts of everything that like we've got good stuff, let's share it about, and I think that's the vibe for Necromunda, whilst Warhammer 40k I bet is much closely guarded generally anyway, and also like, and no one cares about the other ones.
No, that's very much. I feel that's quite kind of true because the same thing happens in games like. I think my microphone just cut out. Then I apologize.
No, you're right.
Now on the recording, I got a weird message. The same is true in like Blood Bowl and other specialist games. The communities get really excited, and you do tend to see more leaks for those.
Yeah.
And I think because they're not as big impact, Games Workshop doesn't tend to act upon them as quickly.
I think so.
Which is also why I think I'm kind of speculating here massively, and we can kind of come to this bull fuckery at some point. But the two zines or whatever you want to call them that they've said that they're going to do with the Goliath and
the journals.
Yeah, the journals. We can come to that fuckery later, but I think that might be we're jumping on things early before things get noticed.
Yeah. Oh, you think so? Oh, you think that
possibly? But it's also a bit. Well, there's a lot to be said about those journals, and a lot of arguments both ways about them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's when you do a new edition of any game, you've basically got one of a few ways you do things. Either you go, the rules are free and everything comes out generally at once, which is basically Warmachine 4 Mark 4 was just that, right?
Even like any 40k edition, technically all rules are released at once.
Well, no, because it's not, because I mean the problem with that one is they bring out the new when they do a full reset like they did with 10th.
10th and 8th.
Have the index cards.
Yeah, you get the index,
which have a shelf life worse than a loaf of bread that comes from the US.
But isn't that just the entire rulebook anyway?
Unless you've got one of those. Unless you've got like, wasn't it like the Imperial Guard got like they got their 9th edition book just before 10th came out, wasn't it? Like within 6 months. So like actually their index card was super important because they didn't have a codex.
You can usually tell 40k how the system is going to change by the last codex that comes out.
Exactly, yeah, that's true.
But when you get major changes with 8th to 7th to 8th and 9th to 10th, there is bigger things. But
and then of course we've got the thing now where for 11th edition we're doing all the codexes from the previous edition are valid.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
so I've not been following 40k.
No, because 11th edition already. I've also watched other videos of stuff from people reviewing that people are like already exhausted with 40k 11th edition. They've described it as almost like it's the game it's the game that the designers want to play, not what they actually think the market would want to play. Hence why it's almost impenetrable to get into for new players.
Right.
Which I definitely agree on because I think it's just a bit trashy at this point.
Having watched a load of APs of it, like I could watch 10th edition APs. So tabletop tactics, Saturday morning, just waking up, stick it on while I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Fine. I stick it on now while I'm doing something, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It makes, as a rule system, it doesn't make any sense.
Really? Oh, wow.
Like the only change that I've noticed that makes any real big difference in the game, and actually to me is a good change, is the fact of your objective cards, your secondary objective cards, do not disappear at the end of your turn. you can stack them up.
Yeah.
That is the only thing, to me, from having watched it, that makes actually kind of a sense. It's like, you've got all of these fucking cars, I pull it, shit, I can't do it, discard it, that's gone.
Yeah.
I may have wasted a turn trying to do it, not being able to do it.
Yeah.
But now you can.
Okay.
But the amount of bullshit that they've added into the game to tidy it up doesn't tidy it up and just adds extra complexity to it. Like, to me, 8th edition was a great reset. And then they added in commandments. But anyway, we're talking about Necromunda.
I haven't played 40k since 2nd edition, so
good for you. You're doing the right thing.
Right. So I am really not the person to talk about Age of Sigmar, yes. Old World, yes. 40k is just the system I just.
Oh, we should talk about Old World at some point.
Kill Team, I've played and stuff, but like the one game I've not played after my renaissance in Warhammer and that kind of wargaming is 40k. It's even when I got back into it when it was 8th edition, it was impenetrable then, it felt. And like, particularly as you're getting back into it, now I probably could go, I've still got my 8th edition book up there actually, to be honest. I probably could pull that out and it probably would be much easier to get into. But I thought everyone liked the new terrain though. I thought the terrain's much better now, right? Oh no, have I got that wrong? That's what I heard.
The terrain. The thing is, the terrain
depends who you ask. I think
the terrain layouts got errated within the first month.
Right. Okay.
So those decks of cards that you bought, some of them are effectively, compost already.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode.
And the thing is that I, in playing games at Outposts of Warmachine, where you just like, you put down the terrain, you make sure it's kind of evenly spaced and not biased in any way. Then you put down your objective markers, where you just like, you've got there's about 6 missions you play for what are called tournament steamroller ones. You place those, it's easy to do. Because you're only putting down maybe anywhere between 3 to 6 tokens on the board to represent where those are. And they're like 30mm or 40mm or 50mm base sizes. 40k takes ages to put all these templates down that have to be angled the right way and everything. You've got about a dozen or more of those on the board. And at that point, you're like, well, does terrain even matter? Because you've now got templates. So we're now hit back to like Warmachine 2nd ed. So yeah, they've done a lot of weird things. And then there's command points that flit around because you've got command point abilities, you've got army abilities, you've got
okay.
There's so much that stacks onto everything else that it just
like, I've got a +1 to this, but a -1 because you're that kind of stuff, and you're just sitting there going like, I'm going to make one roll, and it's going to take me 10 minutes to figure out what I'm actually trying to roll.
So I watch Eons of Battle on YouTube because I like Jay. I find him funny.
Yeah,
I don't particularly 90% enjoy a lot of the content of what he actually does because it's massively 40k focused, but I find him quite entertaining.
No, I like his painting style as well, and I like his, like watching his show. Yeah, very good.
But he did a episode at the time of recording, I think this was last week, where the first 2 or 3 minutes pointed out every single problem that exists to me in 40k, and then he turned around and said, and my second favorite game is Moonstone, and I'm like, I love you so much.
Is that good?
Moonstone is fantastic. And so the way that it does objectives is you get your dice, you get a handful of dice, which is the number of objectives. I think it's generally 4. It's between 4 to 6. And it doesn't matter what dice it is. I think it's generally a D4. And you just toss them onto the table.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And those are your moonstones that are your objective markers on the table.
Can I?
And you have to go get them, and that's it.
I hate objective markers.
I fucking hate
I don't like them. Why I like games like Necromunda and Kill Team are generally it's just about killing each other. Okay, it's like that's kind of what I'm there. I like if you.
This is why Necromunda is great because
because generally you're there just to either like break the party or injure and kill everyone. Or I like if there's a nice little like, I've got to do an escort mission, but really the objective then is to shoot everyone that's trying to escort the person, or like a little.
You either kill the protection squad or kill the people who are ambushing you.
Exactly, and that's it. And I that's what I came into wargaming for. I'm not there to go and be like, I'm standing in a circle. hey, look at me!
Unfortunately,
I've got a really good circle standing stat.
Well,
Check me out.
the thing they did to get rid of some of to make it look less shite is they got rid of those big objective circles out of 10.
Yeah.
So now objectives are tied to terrain,
which is much cooler.
Terrain
Warmachine does that where you go certain terrain can be objectives. Other times it's just a point where you're taking and holding a part on the board. Or you can just play narrative missions for Warmachine as well. So I agree. Like I hated those big circles and they're in Age of Sigmar as well.
Actual circle holding stats.
They're actual circles that are marked, and you just sit on them and grind away until there's plastic.
Yeah.
So as I just said in the chat, 40k now, and I think it was brought in 10th edition. They actually have the circle holding stat.
Yeah, which is there's also as well.
Yeah.
What's it called? Your what's it?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like I've got more. It's that I've got more models.
Objective fucking.
What's it called? It's called like it's not presence, but because they have it in Age of Sigmar. That's why I don't like. I like really excited about Age of Sigmar 4th edition. I was like, I'm going to get into this now. Event finally. Oh. It's the same bullshit. It's just like
whereas like
it's moving close. Yeah,
Warcry did everything great with like because the markers were really were tied to a narrative purpose.
Well, like kill team ones are fun because it's like I don't know why it's more fun, but I guess it's because it's more like one dude's going to make a run for it, and you're probably going, and then that's when you're going to be like, am I going to go out of cover and get basically shot to death, or am I not? And it doesn't feel like that in other games, in the big games.
And I can say this, and David knows this. Like with Warmachine, even though you've got these little base markers, you can get narrative prints. You can buy narrative like representations that are faction specific, so you can blend it in. But then also, the way that game works is it's not all about I've got the most models sat on an objective. If you go, I'm going to kill your leader, it's game over. It doesn't fucking matter.
That's what I like. Yeah,
you've got a lot more asymmetry that can occur in the flow of the game.
You've got your objectives that you can complete.
Yes. No, but that's what I like.
Or you can go for caster's kill. So it's you either throw all your eggs into one basket, or you play the long game.
Well, that's like you get your tactics cards, don't you? And I love that, and they're fun. You know, I mean, it's not. I think Necromunda's way better, obviously, but I like playing a kill team of an evening. Is for me is an okay activity.
And I also like the ability that you get in if you can win a game, even where you can win a game without even killing the entire opponent because you're doing something clever rather than just going.
It also means that even like the way the Warmachine works, and I think this is a great concept for balance that 40k absolutely misses, is like you can get absolutely fucking tanked. You can lose all your units, you can lose all your warjacks, but if you Hail Mary it on that last turn and get that caster kill,
it feels epic.
Yeah, and that's
it doesn't matter that you've had your army wiped out. Whereas in 40k, you suddenly lose 50% of your force.
Yeah,
you're fucked.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're meant to be talking about Necromunda.
Necromunda has a similar value, right? Like if you take out if you like focus on a leader, that can really be quite a troubling effect that you can do. It's not like it's not as end game as that, but it is like. If you're in the middle of a campaign, you kill someone's leader. It's a fun thing. It's the great thing about it.
It's very thematic.
It's so thematic. And as the person whose leader is killed, yes, I get to now promote my champion and I get to build them up.
We can also build this into the new Necromunda in the fact that it's harder to fucking run off the pitch now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's start.
That's a
good point. Let's get into like what we like about the rules changes. Yes. So, basically, fighters and vehicles are effectively the same. I'm looking at tabletop battles. I've watched Wellywood, so shout out to them because they've done a lot of great content. Initiative now is taking a larger role in stuff, both in movement when you do dashes. It also has an impact on when you do engagement movement, I think, and also it has an impact on close combat, of course. So it feels a bit like classic Necromunda, second ed in that sense, where the initiative is important. They've also made and I think when we're talking about the profiles of models, they've made a real distinction between when you have a test. A test is where you roll over something, so that'd be your ballistic skill or weapon skill. Those are always tests. whereas a check is your leadership or something where you're rolling under. So, for example, I think like an enforcer captain. There's so many spoilers, so everyone's seen this shit anyway. Has like a leadership of 9, so they're passing leadership checks all the time, which is great because that's what you expect for them, and I think really sets them apart from other gangs. We'll see other stuff like that.
But I like the thematic turn that it makes, which is like your leader. You roll to beat your highest leadership stat of everyone, right? And that just makes so much more sense. The whole point of the gang structure that they built is the whole like your leader is your ultimate person, right? And is who's making your gang work. So it would make sense that in the gunfight and you've been like someone's been downed, the leader should be the one rallying the rest of the gang to be like, don't fuck off, don't run away. And that kind of makes so much more sense. So it's like it works, I think.
And the other thing they've done.
I was going to say, I agree to some extent with that. But you have to think about the 3D nature of the game and distances. Like, there has to be obviously this kind of fear of betraying the gang in there and failing your mates. And I'm here to annihilate this lot because they killed Billy Bob down the street.
Yeah.
But like, if you are the lone ganger, like 3 stories up, the rest of the people are down there, and you've got 3 guys running at you.
That would be a cool, like, facilitator.
I think you can maybe try to.
Yeah, if you're outside of 12 inches or out of sight from any of your other gangers, then you have to make the bottle check separately or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say something like that. But my issue, I don't agree with line of sight bottle checks because you can throw voices around corners and shit.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
But line of sight and like 50 foot away, 50 meters away,
it's still 12 inches away. 12 inches.
But then also, you've got vox speeds and stuff like that in the setting. So,
but a vox speed in your ear. If you now tell me to not fuck off, and when someone's shooting me, I'm still going to fuck off because you're not here getting shot.
Well, so it says you can voluntarily to do it as well if you want to be thematic.
I think that could be a really nice thing to add into it. You can maybe house rule it, but I leadership has always been and bottle checks has always been a contentious point. I feel because either your entire gang fucks off or you will fucking die.
And that's what they've smoothed out.
Yeah, and it's quicker. I mean, it is just quicker, right? That's
part of this is making the game more playable in some respects because I think classic Necromunda and N17 eventually with all the books is quite granular. And in some places, that's where it that's the point. It slows the game down. So the main things we know is the book out of the stall says this is not a competitive game, which I think is really important. We know that it's festooned with what I call taking from Cubicle 7 grognard boxes, which is basically like if you want to put back in that you can't pre-measure, you can play it that way. We don't have facings anymore on models except for vehicles, which I think a lot of this comes from like when you see enough of the game played through, and this is the same ideas of where they smoothed off the edges on Warmachine. How often were you not facing in the right direction for something?
Because oh my god, this piece of terrain, I can't put it where I want it to be, so I have to face the wrong way. Like
there's
a wall here, my gun is like that. If I put my gun facing that way, I'm not in cover, but I want to be in cover. And by being in cover, I'm not in the right facing.
But that's the other thing. It's the realities of models.
Shit. It's dumb shit. It is. If you're not going to have a fucking, a silhouette, like they take up this much space, you cannot do facings on dynamic model posts.
Yeah, that's true.
As much as they look cool, doesn't work.
And so initiative now is a number. It's not it's not like ballistic skill. It's just a set number because higher is better.
That's it. Yeah.
Which means now all initiative tests are on a 4+ unless you've got some modifier skill trait somewhere to do that. Which I think is fine. It speeds up that.
I think they were saying Escher's, not surprisingly, have got generally skills that help with that, if I recall from what I was
going to say, what do you mean by ninja women don't fight better than your big-ass meathead Goliaths?
Saving
those
throws...
Those stims that they're on are pretty initiative building as well, to be fair, right? He's actually like, I'm so hyper-aware.
Steroids!
Exactly, yeah.
So saving throws are baked in, and they've also made a point that I think this edition makes the point that a saving throw isn't just your armor; it's your nimbleness.
Yes, which is
it's also your cover as well.
Yeah, well, we get there's that.
Cover's good.
So, and also saving throws, no matter how many modifiers you get on it, are capped at a 3+.
Yep.
So that again, I think stops the thing where you've got so much like an armored undersuit and then heavy carapace and a shield. You're on a 1+ save, and which obviously means it's 2+, but you ignore an AP. Yeah. It's all again just to like reduce the load of modifiers,
and it's also reducing that. I roll a dice and then I re-roll a dice because I've got a save of 7+ or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing we'll get to. I mean, that also impacts shooting as well. We'll talk about that. So, I mean, overall, I think the way profiles are changing and so forth feels sensible.
As in the fact that you can give different profiles to the gangers. Yeah.
There's also that because you're right, because when you get your gangers, each regular ganger also specialize. All of them specialize out of the box and gets a starting skill.
I think that's what I called for on N17, and I was like, it feels like this is something that's really lacking, and particularly if you're someone who plays like I did at the time, an outcast gang, where you're building your own gang, and really an outcast gang it's not quite Helot gang where you've got like enigmatic leader, potentially one champion, and then a bunch of just like Jews basically, or just regular meat shields. Yeah. So in an outcast, you kind of want to build everyone to be a little bit like we're all like Venators as well, where you want them to all kind of feel like Venators do have, though you had those specialisms where you could either choose like gunslinger. I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head now for Venators, but like I felt that they had the different kind of like 4 stat blocks that you could build. Yeah. And I felt like that's what like with an outcast gang, you're like, you want them to feel like we're a bunch of like the intro to the A-Team or intro to what's his name used to be married to Madonna, a Guy Ritchie film where it's like Steve-O, he's like the medic, and then you want like Bill, that's the gun specialist. You like the intro to Borderlands, kind of intros for everyone, and that you want everyone to have those
in a way. I think in a way it feels, I don't know why I just thought of this. And it kind of also saddens me a little bit because I used to love this gang when they first came out. But the Spires, because one of the hardest gangs to play in N17, N23 out there, because each member of that gang was highly specialized from the setup.
True, yeah.
But that made sense because of where they came from and their background and their history. And then you apply that to just like a street gang. Yeah, you're going to have your base thugs. And like you can have like a couple of guys who are good at shooting and a couple of guys who are good at punching.
Yeah.
But the guys who are good at punching are not going to be good at shooting. The guys who are good at shooting are not going to be good at punching. A guy who is a demo expert is not going to be good at anything else. Yeah. And if you look at games like Call of Duty and you get a squad in Call of Duty, you don't all go out as snipers.
No.
It feels...
Unless you're Vansar.
Yeah, but then you blow yourself up because you've got plasma weapons and melter weapons and trying to and irradiate yourself.
Well, you've got a couple of green goblins as well, but
But no, I think like it's a thing that they brought in from Kill Team.
Yeah.
And I got very, very worried when I saw it because I do not like what Kill Team have done. The way that they build their gangs, build their squads.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think they've got the right balance, I think, in Necromunda, because you've still got they're not called Jews anymore, are they? Prospects, who are not specialized.
Yeah.
And then as they get trained up, you can then specialize them.
Yeah.
But it feels a lot more kind of like, I've got this 20-year-old kid who's been part of this gang for 10 years. How's he not specialized?
Yeah, exactly.
So it feels a bit more thematic, and I think they've done it well. Whereas Kill Team, I just think they've fucked that team building system.
I totally agree with the Kill Team thing. Though I do like my Orc bomb squad that I've got, which are really fun to play with. I forgot what they're called, the Killer something, whatever they are, but they're really fun. But I agree, and I think, but it's something that just I think the best thing about narrative games is giving options to players. is the best thing, because that is how you get invested. And that's why Necromunda has always been great generally, because of the investment you put into your characters and the building and the XP and the stories you add to them. But I think if you can be like, whilst you're building your gang, going, this is Jill. Jill's a fucking badass. she's just an absolute brute who's going to beat the shit out of everyone that gets in the face. And I want to put that on a piece of paper, and I'm going to get benefits that relate to that. Is great. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's.
And I love the opposite side of that. This is Bill. Bill has been a dick for the past 3 games. Bill can go fuck off.
Yeah,
Bill gets no weapons.
Yeah, Bill's going to get no weapons, and he's going to run directly at them. Yeah. There was, the thing that I'm going to flit around a bit on this, but it's reminding me because we're talking about Van Sars, and it's something that I don't want to forget to say, is talking about combat, is that you can disengage from combat now without having to take an opportunity attack, which is really good.
Yeah.
And particularly if you're a Van Sar player, it's really good. And Wellywood Gaming mentioned this, and I was like, that is the thing.
Well, I was going to say, this gets us into actions, because they've cleaned that up so well. So, so basically, we don't have the idea of free actions and double actions and simple. Basic. We've got simple, basic and double, or whatever.
Yeah.
So now we've got basically single and double. The change around of that means that a dash is now, in order to run, that used to be you do a move. Now it's you move plus your initiative, and it's a double action, which is great because that's going to reward Escher. It's going to penalize Goliath even more.
Yeah.
So you're going to get much more distinction on the gangs in that way, I think, which is a good thing.
It definitely flavors them a lot more into what they're meant to be.
Whilst charge, though, I feel undoes that a little bit personally, because it's plus D6. I personally,
I guess you could say that it's because on the one side you've got that full burst of adrenaline and aggression that speeds you along, but on the other hand, it's you're focused on your target, and you might trip over a loose cable on the ground.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like things being more swingy. I just think a standard stock D value for all gangs seems a little bit like, I get why, but I would feel like Prospects D4. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's what. But then I know the moveset does that, but I feel like a D6 is a bit. I just think double. I think it should be.
I do not like randomized charge distances in any games at all.
Yeah,
because it just does not.
I'm less offended in Necromunda. I'm more offended in 40k.
in large things, where there's a lot more open ground. So like the old world, AOS.
When you're rolling 2d6 or something like that,
So I'm rolling 2d6 and I'm trying to charge this unit, and I go 2 inches.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
Why
we go full out, or we're going to murder these fuckers, and we're going to just walk 2 steps.
The other argument is it is a slight bit of balancing between people who are new to the game and people who are more indoctrinated in the game.
Because I understand you, but it just doesn't make any logical sense.
Anyway, if you charge, you get a free attack.
My counter, like devil's advocate, is that it means you can move across the board quicker, which I think has sometimes been an issue in certain games of Necromunda I played, where I'm like, okay, when we actually going to get to each other and start fighting, particularly if you're like both melee heavy teams, it can be a bit like, okay, well, we're just spending the first turn moving, and then the second turn, okay, we're still moving. One might make a pop shot, and that's it. But
so I'll rattle through the changes on the thing. So anyway, you've got charge.
Yeah.
You run forward, move plus D6, and you get free attack.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be some other bonus in that. I think there's a bonus on the initiative that you get. So obviously that's good. That now means there's a single move which is called engage, which allows you to move into combat and therefore make an attack. If you charge, you can also do a coup de grace, I think, in there. So they've changed that slightly.
I think it's engages, you are walking into combat, so you don't get the bonus on the initiative.
And vehicles can do this as well.
You get a free fight or coup de grace with both.
And fight is a double action. So if you engage, that gives you a free fight. If you're already in a fight, it's a double action. Retreat is a double action.
Yeah.
Shoot is a single. Aimed is a double.
But it's
Aim
risk-free now, retreat.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Aim will give you +1 to your hit, and that's the only way you're going to get
double?
plus.
An
aim
shot.
is a double.
So it's an aim shot. So it's the aiming.
It's an
and the
aimed
shooting.
shot.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't have aim then shoot like it used to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Brace shot is a double. It's the only way you can fire heavy weapons.
Heavies,
Yeah.
And then you've got repair and treat ally and tend wounds. So a fighter can also tend their own wounds now, which is good.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Essentially, what they've introduced into this is that I think there's a greater chance that your fighters will get hurt but also get back up, because they've also got rid of flesh. Flesh wounds don't work the same anymore.
No.
So that's generally good. And then the other really interesting thing is group activation. So now it's a single action. It's a leadership test, but you get a cumulative -1 to the test for every model that you're trying to activate with that.
I like that, because just to note before anyone gets scared, leaders and champions still get that as a free action because they have an inspiring skill. But I think this is really good, because my favorite thing about, it's not my favorite thing, but it's one of my favorite things about Necromunda is group activation.
Yeah,
and how you can, because of like how that's
a risk.
Those mini fire teams that you also build, if you like, you can build up in your gangs. Particularly if, when I was playing like Escher a lot, I always found it really cool because you could have your you have your matriarch with a couple of like someone with an absolute what do you call it, a melter, or was that a flamer sort of thing. So you could flame, and then I'm going to run it and stab you sort of thing, which is always great. The fact that you can now give that as an action to other gangers, I can't figure out what I'm going to do with that, but I feel I'm going to have fun with it when I'm like, I can make little mini prospect double teams that can be like, I'm just going to group activate these two together and we're going to go and see what happens.
And the fact it runs off leadership again makes that stat now have more of a role in the game. And this is where, again, as someone that's always played Enforcers in the last campaign that I ran, that leadership 9 is now like huge.
That's massive. Yeah,
that's such a big thing. And as you say, it plays into that fire team feeling where you can go, you've got your guys with shields, they walk forward, they chuck in a flashbang.
Yeah.
Then another patrol officer goes in and goes, "Oh, your initiative is shit. I'm not even gonna fight you. I'm just gonna use the magnicals on you and basically you can't fight."
You know what? You're totally right. For Enforcers, this is like a perfect. It's
thematically great.
Thematically perfect. Yeah, 100%.
But it also makes so much more sense because you're in that small group and you've got this bloke going, you know what? We together should do this thing, and the other two are like, you want us to run at that person with a gun? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to have that.
No, it's great.
Psychological battle.
Yeah.
And so it does become a lot more thematic.
Yeah. So then,
also your rat with a bomb on it as a corridor.
Yeah.
So much more better. It's like it's
rat, go.
It's just
so squeak.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to rattle through statuses, conditions. So again, we have active, and you'll note that the plastic tokens, they have arrows on them to point to which fighter they're about. So we've got active or suppressed. Suppressed is the new pinned, where you lose an action. The impact of this is that in the Grognard boxes, if you're suppressed, you don't have to place the model face down. If they're seriously injured, you don't have to place them face up. That means no more scratching of models. It also means no that jankiness when you go, well, I put them back up. Are they in exactly the place where they were before? Or what facings mattered?
Oh, I like doing that. It's my favourite thing.
You can still do it. The Grognard boxes still say you can do that.
I know. I get it.
So suppressed, as I say, is if you get shot at or you fall off things, you're going to lose an action.
Yeah.
Seriously injured and seriously damaged is in there. But I think the flesh wound token now, I think is used in conjunction with radphage. So I think it means poisoned.
Yes, I heard that. That's what I heard on the Wellywood Gaming saying that it was now the poisoned condition only.
So again, it means you still lose toughness, but it basically means you're not going to get this thing where as you get serious injuries and you roll injury dice, you get flesh. You're not going to accumulate flesh wounds anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that just again is a clear up of things. Again, related to it, blaze is now easier. Flamers just do, if you wound, you get to make another attempt to wound.
Yeah, and no one goes on fire.
No, you got no one running around going and running off buildings, and I mean that's fun, but I mean it's a lot of work to work out.
Here's an interesting concept about flamer weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They're changing across 40k in general.
Are they?
They are no longer, apparently, not yet confirmed, but flamer weapons in 40k are no longer random dice generated. They are now set values.
Okay.
Ooh, that makes me feel queasy.
Which makes me feel queasy because they get rid of the great template thing and make it a random dice roll, which I think was great. And now they're getting rid of that and making them.
Come on, you say you don't like the template. It's the best template in the box.
Oh no, it works for games like Necromunda, but I don't think it works in 40k. And I think because obviously you're going to do that against a unit, whereas if you're looking at like two people in front of you.
Yes, it's really silly. Yes, it is. Now you say it is kind of true. Now you say it.
So
you're right.
The fact that it's now going to a set value instead of I'm going to hit a random number of people who are going to get set on fire.
Oh, that's a shame.
Anyway,
that's a shame.
But that's me spitballing ideas that we don't yet know.
My new favourite thing as well, I forgot to say about things, is doors in Necromunda, that it's not an action, because the time that I've spent opening and fucking closing doors.
Right.
I go there, open door, shoot, shit, I want to close the door. Someone else close the door for me, so I don't want to get shot. Like, now it's you lose 2 inches from its movement, which is great, because if I'm standing by a door, I'd like to be able to free action open that door and close that door so that I can do what I want to do, because it's the most,
The number of times you open and go, open, shoot, shit, I missed, fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. And so the fact that you could just open and close it, great, love it.
They also cleaned up webbed to be less punishing, which is good. Insanity is also apparently tidied up to be a more a table that's easier to pass and feels again less arbitrary in some respects. And then the next big change is bottle checks. So these only happen on a turn that you lose a ganger. So that makes it feel like, and you can only lose a maximum of only one ganger of those on the present on the board runs away as a result of failing a bottle check. So it's not that shit thing where you go, right, I'm forced to make a bottle check and then half my gang fucks off, which is really, again, I think this is all about balancing, making the game actually fun, because I know all the random stuff is very good and it's like it's really crunchy and granular and simulationist, but there is the balance between simulation and it actually being fun. And it's amazing how a series, it's not amazing, it's just a series of very bad dice rolls can really make a game just feel shit actually for both players. Because for the player whose gangs run off, it's like, well, what the fuck is the point of this mission? And then for the person playing against you, it's a bit tough on them to go like, right, well, I'm just going to annihilate who's left and just like...
It's not fun for either first party because you just kind of feel like even all the effort you've done to win has been a waste, because really all that you haven't won, the dice just roll badly, and that's it.
And we spoke about like the amount of time you take. Now
isn't that how the game works and 40k works? It's like, I'm going to here to just embarrass you.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
because I'm better, because I'm the better grognard.
Okay, well, David, you said the word there. You said the word that explains why that's a problem. That's it. Yeah.
I'm here for one reason and one reason only.
To win and prove I'm right.
But also because it takes, so if you think about it, setting up a Necromunda board is quite a, it's part of the fun to get that like evocative kind of like under high feel. To have your game over in 2 turns maybe because you lost half your gang or more on bottle checks.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the point? It's So I think that's all good. I'm not upset by any of that. And then
wounding and injuries generally. We haven't talked about the lethality.
And this is the big thing. So basically weapons, we'll go through the profile of the weapon. So weapons have short and long range always. That interacts with cover. So weapons always hit on your base ballistic skill. Mm-hmm. If you aim, I think that gives you a +1 on that to hit. And it's the only way you're going to get a +1 to hit, generally, I guess.
Yeah.
Then a model that is in cover is either in cover or not in cover. It's none of this partial full bullshit which you argue about because you go, I've got my laser sight out and I can see that amount of the model. Fuck that. It then means if you're in cover at long range, you've got basically a +2 to your save. And if you're in short range, you're in cover, you've got +1 to your save. And then APs of weapons will interact with that. So to me, that represents the fact that you know they're there, you're firing your gun, and some of those shots might puncture through the barricade or you splinter off some of the ceramite and it still goes, it catches them.
What we've been saying over the last, 3 or 4 episodes. So I think we predicted that one quite well.
Yeah, and the whole point of this, as we said, it flattens all the resolution of modifiers to the last step of shooting, which means shooting resolves at the 2 steps before it rapidly, because either you have done or you haven't done a hit or a wound. Then we get to damage and lethality, which is the thing we were kind of umming and ahhing over. And essentially we've got a weapon now has a damage trait, and that's how many wounds it removes. And the moment you hit 0 wounds, that's the number of lethality dice on the weapon you roll to see an injury, and you take the worst result. So a bolt gun, I think, is like maybe damage 1, but 2 lethality.
Yeah.
So the moment the model gets down to 0 wounds, you roll 2 lethality of dice and you pick the worst, which kind of makes sense with a bolt gun because it's going to explode you.
Yeah.
I think this makes a lot of sense because it says that it kind of comes around with the argument of I shot you, but I don't know where I shot you. And so the lethality kind of relates to that. I may have shot you in the shoulder, so I only done one thing, or I may have headshot you, which is the worst, obviously, the 2 results from lethality. So it kind of brings in this
It also gets rid of the janky math on damage rolls. So say you've got 4 wounds, you get hit by 2 bolt gun rounds, both wounds. Sorry, you've got 3 wounds, you get dealt 4 damage. The maths of that, you go 4 versus 3. Is that only 1 injury dice? Well, actually, no, because it's 1, 2, 3 damage done. That's 1 injury dice because you're down to 0. 1 damage left over makes 2 injury. It's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not blatantly obvious unless you work out the maths on it.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler, but it's also a lot more thematic in the concept of like, if you're trying to like a lot of people that I used to play with and friends that I used to play with, it was always about telling the story, and so they'd blog post the games afterwards, and rather than I rolled this, they'd be like, the guy took the damage like this, and so with this kind of lethality idea, it's like they got hit, but they only got pinged in the shoulder, so they took a little bit of damage, but dropped behind cover and stood up again. So you can kind of tell these stories a little bit better.
And it's kind of like if you have
without math hammering it.
Yeah, and I think if you have like a needle pistol, if you just randomly shoot someone with a needle pistol, right? If you don't hit them, well, you know, okay, fine. Like if you don't, if you hit them, unless you like hit them in the middle of their eye or the temple, they're not going to die, right? Like it's just going to be, you're going to get it. Yeah, it's going to suck, right? But if you shoot them point blank range with a shotgun, well, wherever you're near them, you're probably going to do damage that's lethal, right? So it kind of makes sense that would be a lethality 3 with a shotgun close range, whilst a needle pistol is a lethality 1 because it's like, well, maybe. Maybe.
It probably does more damage, but it's not as lethal unless it hits you in the right place.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that gives a lot more, it opens up for them, like, more design space on weapons, which we'll mostly see when the books arrive.
Yeah.
And then
expect another episode in a week when we've all read the book.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We'll bitch about things then. Then the next thing is ammo rolls. So not all weapons have to roll the
ammo dice.
I call it sustained fire dice because that's what it basically is. Yeah. They don't have to roll that die unless they've got the rapid fire trait or the ammo trait.
Yeah, ammo X trait. Yeah.
And then so basically, because again, mathematically, how often did las guns run out of ammo? Not very. Auto guns, again, not very unless you fired on full auto. So again, it's just shaving off the janky bits to make it. Will make it so that you only roll these things on the things that are often the most important, like you're firing a fucking bolt gun.
Yeah,
which again comes back to
taking it again back to that first ed. Kind of
100%.
Because las cannons and auto guns is like, fire them as much as you want. You've got a rocket launcher. How many rockets do you have? Well, 3. Well,
That's that exactly,
That's,
and that
that's
totally makes
that.
sense. Yeah,
You can't find more than that. Like, you got a plasma gun. Well, good luck finding ammo for that in the fucking Underhive without spending 7,000 credits. So I think that's a really good change to, again, bring it kind of one of the things that, like, one of the reasons why I stopped caring about Necromunda, especially N17 to N23, was it started to creep into that kind of 40k vibe. With the way, like, Chris is probably going to hate me here, but the way that Vansar came out and what they did with Vansar, with their actual ability and ease of getting melter and plasma weapons, bugged the shit out of me. Why does something in the Underhive where they are not meant to get these advanced weapons?
they've got their
got
access.
STC.
They've got their little what's it called? The little
The STC, yeah.
the STC.
They've got
Yeah,
STC AI. They've got a factory.
Yeah.
But the fact, and like they did balance it with the fact that it kills them.
Yeah, they're
because
tough
it's
to
very-
That's why they got
They're risky
radiation
as shit.
sickness. Yeah, exactly.
But it still, it kind of, to me, it broke some of the immersion.
I know what
because
you
also,
mean.
how did a Underhive gang get an STC? And how has the AdMech not beaten the shit out of them?
Because it's highly shielded and has always been there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of Necromunda lore to get into.
There's loads of kind of that kind of stuff. But it kind of, to me, it broke the fact that it's just
I know
meant
what
to be
you're
a bunch
saying.
of street gangers beating the shit out of each other with street level weapons.
But they're meant to be I find they're like the Vansar, like they're the closest to a Spire gang now.
Yeah.
They've kind of become more Spire gangs
Yeah, like,
than they used to be, you know.
Always it fits.
Yeah, but that's
kind of, but it's still because I'm still very much in like that mid '90s setting.
No,
Because to me, Necromunda is grimdark mid '90s.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And it should
A dude running around going, "Yeah, I've got 6 packs of plasma weapon rifle ammo." I'm like, why?
They should just be relatively good shooting versions of Warlocks, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Rather than
They should have it, but it should
Yeah.
be like 1 or 2 shots that always hit. Not I've got 7 shots that maybe one of them kills me. That's my opinion.
Combat.
Shoot me.
Close combat. Here we go. Yeah, so charging model gets +2 initiative. That's cool. Unwieldy weapons are always initiative 1. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And then there's some other stuff in there. And I think the biggest thing, the most important thing on this is that if you are the model being attacked and it's not your activation, you only get 1 attack in response. So this stops tanky fucking multi-armed, multi-weapon, paired weapon shite happening. It means you can gang up on someone then and have.
I'm not gonna lie, as an Escher player, when I was playing Escher, that was great because you're like, you wanna come into combat with me? Fine, because I've got like everything. I've got It
makes combat feel like less risky, and therefore that balances against shooting more. So
that's what I don't like about Kill Team is that it's like I don't really want to go into combat with you because you're like you've got this OP sword and so many attacks, and I'm gonna be lucky if I get all 6s. I might win this combat round. But now it's like if it was that in Kill Team, that would make it so much better. Do you know what I mean? Like I can run in and do a lot.
Yeah, I feel that Necromunda should be a game where both options are viable, but depending upon the weapons you have, that determines what you're good at. But you should be able to throw that gun at somebody's head and then run at them and stab them while they're trying not to get hit in the face with a pistol.
100%.
Whereas obviously you throw out a pistol at a Space Marine in Kill Team, they're like, and
exactly.
punch him in the face. Here's my knife.
And I get it. It's just like at times it's a little bit like, well, I feel like there's no. We were talking about earlier about that chance you were saying about Warmachine, how like there's that chance to make that last dash attempt.
Yeah.
When I was down to like. I had just 1 orc guy with a hat with one of those bomb hammers. That was all I had left, and I was going against scouts, right? And I was like, I just want to.
You run at them and fucking smash them on the head.
Yeah, I want to just run and smash them on the head, and I don't want them to be like, well, I'm going to stab you about 4 times as well, and because I've got an AP, or if it's Space Marines, I've got an AP of 3. So after the fact, then I'm also going to stab you a billion times afterwards. I don't know.
Let's see what else is there. Versatile weapons are gone. Yeah, that just made things complicated. So. Fine. There's some bits there on consolidation, but it's nothing too big. We've said about damage.
Nerve is now a strength check as well, so it means that not everyone can just go around coup de grace anyone. You actually have to make a strength check now, which is kind of
you can't silhouette people in the head anymore.
Yeah, which I don't know. I'm a bit sad about that, because I think, if they're down on the ground and you just stomp on them, you should be able to just do that. Like, you've got your stub gun and you just shoot them in the head, right? Like, it feels.
I think what they should do is, like, I kind of agree with it, because honest, like, stomping someone's head in is quite difficult.
Yes.
But if you have a weapon that maybe has the coup de grace trait,
there you go,
like the silhouette heel, of Escher and things like that, you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the balance of it. Or you walk up and you've got a pistol and you've got a free action. Well, I can coup de grace.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
That's what it should be, rather than just you're on the ground, you're dead.
Yes.
I think there should be a bit more of the.
My bomb rat shouldn't be able to coup de grace.
I walk up to you on a Minorca and I've got a bomb hammer. If I smack you in the head with it, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah.
That kind of shit.
And then there's just some things. I think they've made the injury table less punishing, the serious injury table.
I'm interested in what that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they've tied up vehicles, so it'd be interesting to see how they work in things. I'm sure there's going to be a book that expands that and adds a bit more crunch back into it. It's just they want a good core system that will live for a number of editions.
There's going to be an Ash Waste-esque, or as we were talking about,
campaign. Cool.
We don't go there yet.
Suspensors are gone as an equipment, so bulging biceps is the only way to move and fire with heavy weapons. Armor obviously is going to interact with initiative, which is going to be important for combat and impact your movement, so that's good. And then really all we've got on top of that is how the trading posts will work, which we don't know, and the weapon. And also gangers have like a starting XP value, so that interacts with the advances table. And I think that's the majority of it, really, of what we've seen, other than the leaks of the gangs. We know Escher get a bonus to initiative checks to jump down or jump over things. Delac are obviously going to get access to some sort of weird powers somewhere.
I think I read that heard that there's only literally like one page of weird powers, which I think is. I remember so in the old Necromunda rulebook, there was a page on weird powers, and it didn't give you any weird powers.
And then Outland just gave you maybe 2 or 3 tables.
Yeah, at least you get a few in this book, it sounds like. Whilst I love the old one, it's like, you can use weird powers. So I'm like, so what are they?
So what are they?
I don't know. And you're like, well,
I think that was we've got this concept that will be in the next book.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
where's the next book? Nah, we're not going to do that.
No. So to
90s,
wrap up,
90s
in preparation of a new season of Tale of Four Gangers, work out our other
fourth ganger.
How, based upon everything we've talked about on previous episodes and predictions and stuff, how do we feel about then these rules?
How do we feel about these rules?
About the updates and stuff.
I feel positive. I actually am coming at this with a good vibe. I'm glass half full on this, thinking that simplifications haven't done anything that have made me go cry. Like they're all things that I'm like, this is positive, I think. And I like the lethality. I like the specialisms. I just want to get it on the table, to be honest. That's the trick, right? I want to see how. Yeah, we've mentioned the things that we do. I think overall, I'm like, this seems like a solid 4-star at the moment for me. Yeah.
It feels modern. It feels modern in places, and they've learned from Warcry. They've learned from Kill Team.
Yeah, I'm very much on that same way. I think what they've done is they've learned from, and I think this is not something we've talked about yet, but they've definitely learned from book bloat.
Yes. Wow. Have they?
That's the question. That's the question, and I've seen many different things about that.
Let's address the elephant in the room with that one. So I think, as we said with any edition, I don't think there's a perfect way. You either go, we only have 2 gangs, like they did with N17,
and every box after that,
and every box after. Well, no,
they did one gang because every other gang was Escher.
N17 when it came out only had the rules for Escher and Goliath in that box. Then they brought out the first Gang War book.
They had the gang. Yeah, the gangs.
Yeah.
Gangs of the no, it was Gang
No,
War.
Gangs of the
they had
Unlock.
Gang War
Gang
1.
Book
Warfare.
1, 2, and 3 and 4. Right. That was it.
Yeah.
No,
wasn't it?
Gang Warfare.
4 brought out
Yeah.
Delac.
Yeah.
3
That
was Vansar. 2 was Orlok. 1 was Goliath and Escher.
Yeah.
So you had and they were quite thin books. Then they consolidated and brought out. They consolidated.
Then they did N18.
And then they brought out the Book of Law, Book of.
Oh yeah, the book.
Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
the
blah,
Book
blah,
of
blah,
Judgment. Yeah, the book.
And
the House of
then they
Blades,
consolidated again, and then we got the House of X hardback books.
Yes.
So taking all of that and trying to get it out as quickly as possible for people to play all their favorite gangs in a cost-effective manner.
I agree.
Doing the 2 gang books that we're getting straight away, and then going and giving you the base level of each gang,
and the core book.
And having a book that actually is, to be fair, the gang books, even though they've got 2 gang books, which is kind of fine, Outlands and the Under-Hive one, which kind of makes sense to me.
I agree with that. I think it's good.
The fact that I've got all of those gangs that I'm going to be fighting against, I've got all the weapons tables, I've got probably all the weird powers, I'm assuming, in these books. I'm going to have every single, I don't have to be, building a gang with 4 books in front of me is the best thing, particularly if you're like an Outcast player or a Venatus player where you are royally ruined if you didn't have all books.
700 books, yeah.
Exactly.
I think so I'm going to agree and mildly disagree here.
Yeah.
As we've not fully seen the contents of the 2 books.
Well, I've got the contents page.
We've got the contents page. I think that those books are going to be able to let you play what is in those combat patrol-like boxes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything more than that.
No.
This is why you're getting these journals, because the first thing the 2 journals have done is the Escher journal allowed you to add in matriarchs who are available models already, but they are not in that box.
Because you're right. Because so
this is the difference here. And the jet bikes on the Eschers are not in that box, and they are not in that book.
You're right, and it's literally it is combat, but it's not. It's even potentially kill team to a certain extent. Where
I'm trying to work out how to phrase what that box is, because it's that box plus some extra models.
Yeah, you're building that equipment. There is an equipment list, right? But to a certain extent, you can still do the equipment list stuff. So you can still be like, oh, okay, I've got the Delac model.
You can tweak the individual models, but you cannot.
Yeah, but they're baseline
beyond that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and that's what those 2 books are. They give you the core gangs, but not the bonus shit. The bonus shit is going to come through the journals. Now, I don't disagree with this idea, because you throw all of that bonus stuff, because a lot of the gangs don't have the same bonus stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's
you can't put that into the books.
No, you can't.
The Corpse Grinder Cult, you have that 1 box. There is nothing else.
Yes.
You put that in there with the Genius of the Cult, who have fucking everything.
We know this also because that screen grab of what's released for what actual bots are available for each gang so far. So we can see where they're going to expand things. Because where is it? I'm just scrolling back through our chat. So like you said, Corpse Grinders has 1 box.
That's why that chart that you put in.
Whereas Escher has 5 boxes.
Escher has the most. Yeah.
Vansar have got 4. Cordor's only got 3. Delac has only got 2. Enforcers has got 5. So there's a box that's going to fill in somewhere, which is going to be some sort of specialist squad. There's a lot of scope with this
to fill in different parts that are missing to kind of bringing it.
So it's going to be
what I'm thinking with the journals is
there's going to be some
table they're going to they're filling those missing gaps.
There's going to be some cool specialist redemptionist box they bring out.
Of course,
I want redemptionists on bikes.
Yes, please.
Flamer bikes, please.
Flamer bikes.
But yeah, I think that's all. I think it's all sound. I think it's the best way to do so. I mean, you can always complain. Games Workshop's bringing out books, but I mean, the journals are going to be. They're not hardback. They're going to be a bit more portable.
Well, they're 50 pages. It looks like.
You don't really need to use them if you don't want to, because the arbitrator could just go with using what's just in the 2 books. fuck everything
And that's
else.
the thing, and that's complete. And if you're coming at this brand new, you're not buying those extra books unless you've got once you've played like your first 5-10 games. I think.
And I think that's another real big key thing.
Yeah.
The new version of Necromunda is not a campaign game. It is as the way it is released at the moment, it is a one-off game.
No, there are campaign rules in there, but they're just not very big.
Yeah, but it's designed for pickup games.
It's more. It supports pickup games better because we've got the arbitrator boxes.
Yeah. So you have people who are shitting on Necromunda, what it is turning into. It's like, no, it's not turning into that. It's just this is a game designed to do pickup games that you can go, I've got this box. Are you interested in it? We don't need to run a campaign.
It's much more newbie friendly.
Yeah, it allows you to introduce people instantly into the game without going, here's 700 books to play the game.
Yeah.
And I am 100% behind that idea, because if you can get that 1, 2, 3 pickup games with that one person, they're going to be interested. And it's also horrendously, other than the terrain, it's horrendously cheaper than almost any other game on the market for GW at the moment.
And that's the other thing why it's a good idea that they have done more rules in one book, because if you wanted to get into Necromunda and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take Escher. That's the game. I like the look of them. And imagine you play like 5 games and you're like, I don't like this gang. I bought the core rulebook. I might have bought, and I've had to buy this House of Blades huge hardback that only gives me the stuff on them.
Yeah.
I'm 60 quid into this in books, and I can't then. And if I want to play the Delac now, because actually I don't like the way the Escher are playing, I don't enjoy it. I now have to spend another 30 quid to get a whole Delac book. Whilst now it's like, okay,
I buy the Gangs of the Underhive.
I've bought the Gangs of the Underhive one. I'm not enjoying Escher. Well, it's okay. I can literally now go play Goliath. That's fine because it's already in this book. And then if I'm really invested in this gang and I've played them for a bit, now I'm going to spend the 18 quid.
Here's a radical thought. Maybe the Gangs of books should have been totally free downloads.
I said that for years, and that's why Yak Tribe exists, right? Come on, guys. Like, you know,
we're at that point.
But also, the fun thing to really shit on people here, you don't need to buy the models for the other gangs if you have the core game set, because you can proxy.
Oh, well, I mean,
oh my god, you can use models that don't represent models. Oh my god, oh no, shit, sorry.
So
I don't want to spend 60 quid on a gang. I just want to try them before I spend that money.
Well, that's very true.
To wrap up, because I'm aware of time and I need some stuff. So we're all positive until it lands and get a few games in. I will be doing at my local club a taster session to get people back into it, so that we can essentially I can get a campaign going and people can work out what they want to buy, or if they like the rule set, or if they want to stay with N95 or N17. N95 because that's when original Necromunda came out. It sounds really weird, but
so do people still want to play that?
They do.
I would still love to play that.
But I've got my books, as I said. I showed you my photo.
I know. I'm not jealous.
I've got a copy. Yeah. So with Telefor Gangers, then I mean we've got a sort of other co-host for it.
Yeah.
What gangs are do you think you're feeling tending towards? Because I normally go with Enforcers, but I'm feeling Van Sar.
Okay.
I was going to say, you are Van Sar.
I've got a lot of Van Sar.
You are Van Sar to me.
I've got about 40 of the bastards.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go. Sorted then. Okay.
Van Sar sorted.
Van Sar sorted. What about you, David? What do you think?
So I've always flipped between, but my first love has always been Escher. And as I'm effectively I'm going to treat myself as the newbie into the game.
Okay.
Because I've not played Necromunda. I've not played it since 2021.
Right.
I think. Yeah. So I'm going to basically come into, like, as much as I bullshitted and talked him through this, I'm going to come in going, I don't know the rules. I don't know anything. I'm going to be coming as the newbie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go from the box, straight from the box. I'm going to run Escher from the box.
Great. Okay, cool.
And do that.
That's cool. I like that. That'd be good for the series as well, because it's a nice way for someone to see how it comes to the box.
Yeah.
Whilst me,
but then I've got like a shit ton of models back in England. So when I go home in England, when I go back home at Christmas, I'm just going to bring everything back and you're going to go see some of the weirdest shit on the table.
Love it.
Not that we're ever going to get to play together, but still.
Well, we will. We will make it happen. We are going to make this happen. It has to happen. There has to be a day at Warhammer World. Okay, we have to do it. But the one that... See, I was thinking, I've got some Delac that my friend who got into Necromunda and did the whole, like, I'm going to buy every gang, and then was like, I don't need every gang. I kind of went
Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And then said like, I gave it to me for free, which is very kind of them. They said like, I've got a Select gang. I really don't want it. Just please take it off me. I have no time. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I was thinking of doing that, but no, because I can't make it easy for myself. Last year I did last time I did this Tale for Gangs, I did a Final Fantasy VII themed Outcast gang, which had Barat, which was a storm fiend rat, which had the 2 double barrel shotgun, machine gun things, the sort of thing, like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII.
Right, yeah.
With the Doom Walker legs from the Necrons. And I made a Buster Sword character from Vampires. But anyway, because I want to just do some kit bashing, I really want to do Space Gaven. I've wanted to do that for a long time. It's been on one of my to-do list things.
Well, you know this this game that we may or may not have written.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And that might be the other inspiration for the Hive. Exactly. So I've got loads of Skaven for Old World. I've got loads of heads left over from that. So I'm just thinking, I've also got a load of Escher bodies. So I'm kind of vibing on rat ladies is what I'm thinking. Okay?
Sexy rat ladies.
Sexy rat.
Oh,
ladies.
I have a YouTube video to show you about sexy rat ladies.
Okay, I don't know if I want to.
No, it's cosplay. It's cosplay. Okay. It's not. I would say it's not bad, but it's not great.
Would they be? I'm going to do them as Cawdor.
So what I was kind of thinking, I'm in three minds. One is I was going to do them as a Venator's gang, and I was just going to take little bits of the Delac and the little bits of Escher I've got left over, and sort of splurge it all, and whatever bits I've got, and make a sort of Venator's Space Gaven gang of different shapes and sizes of different characters, which I could be fun. Or yes, I thought. It's not what I'm going to do, but I wanted to do. I did like the idea of redemptionist rats because then they'd all be in the cowls, and I could get the new Night Runners and then give them all flamers, which I think would be fun.
That would work because you could turn the flamers then into kind of poison wind globadier.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Ideas.
Yeah.
So there's also the dodgy going back to the N95, the rat skins. You could modernize. I was going to modernize that concept. Not do the really bad racist
cultural
bullshit
appropriation shit that they were doing. Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, so I think I don't know. I think I like the idea of a redemptionist rats because I think there's a nice ring to it. But it might be a Venator's gang, so I could just make loads of little random different beings and sort of specialists and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see how the rules look. I think as well.
I think we need to see. We do need to see those two. But there's also the other question. Mm-hmm. There's only 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find someone. We'll work it out.
We will find you.
I've put some feelers out. I think Chris has put some feelers out. So we'll let you know soon.
Cool.
And I'm guessing this is going to be on Theatre Macabre.
This will be on Theatre Macabre's YouTube channel. You can watch my previous series I did with the wonderful Tay, the wonderful Stuart, and the wonderful Jordan of Jordan Sorcery was on it as well. 3 years ago. 3 years ago to the day when I first it was literally the 11th of August 2023. I released the first episode.
Almost like it was N23 release time.
Surprise.
I wonder why. Oh, hang on. No, that's just put a thought into my mind.
Right.
Are they now doing the 3-year cycle for Necromunda?
I don't think
Secundus was 24.
No, because
it was 2 years ago.
It's 2 years ago. So
please don't do that.
Anyway. We should wrap up.
Yes.
So for people like this, obviously they'll know all the contact stuff. They can find us on Instagram. They can find you on Theatre Macabre, Hamilton. They can find us Dark Days Radio on most places at Dark Days Radio. There's a ton of content for Warmachine out on various places, unboxing things. There'll be more stuff unboxed and painted soon. You can see reveals of the Gallant and the Bandit Super Heavy Warjacks. There's a demo event, then mostly aiming for being at Dragon Meet, obviously, to talk. That's roleplay game stuff. That's end of November, start of December. And obviously, our upcoming series of Necromunda with Tale of Four Gangers, which will be on Theatre Macabre. And
go to the Kickstarter pre-launch page for Eat the H.I.V.E.
Yes.
Which is not Necromunda the RPG.
Totally not Necromunda.
Oh, and of course,
Totally
go
not.
to GameFound to sign up for news about Trashumanism, which will also be going live sometime in September. So there's a lot of stuff going on that you can be involved in. And that is it, I think, for now. So we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. I don't need to wave. There's no video, so fuck you.